Good evening, everyone. Hey, we are going to get started kind of with the program here this evening. Welcome everyone to GSVlabs Boston. On behalf of the Entrepreneurship World Cup organizers, the MISC Foundation, the Global Entrepreneurship Network, and GSVlabs, super excited to kind of welcome the US, East Coast, and Canadian finals to Boston here tonight. We have a great group of entrepreneurs and companies, and we'll ultimately hear 16 pitches here in a couple minutes. But before beginning, just a little bit about the Entrepreneurship World Cup. What is the Entrepreneurship World Cup? It's much more than a pitch competition, and it's truly kind of a global event aimed at identifying, accelerating, and ultimately helping provide resources and opportunity to startups all around the globe. There are over 100,000 entries from more than 100 countries. And all the participants are really competing for the opportunity to go to the global finals in Riyadh in November, and ultimately have the opportunity to earn up to $5 million in cash prizes. So, really kind of a global opportunity. A little bit about kind of GSVlabs. We're the national organizers for the US and Canada. And what this meant was we had the tremendous opportunity to engage with thousands of entrepreneurs across the country and across Canada, and ultimately had over 380 finalists that ended up applying. It has been narrowed down to 26 companies. Don't worry, we're not hearing 26 pitches tonight. It was broken into two events. So the West Coast finals occurred in GSVlabs Innovation Center in San Mateo on Tuesday. Ultimately, the first U.S. finalist was a company, Conoco, leveraging kind of the sense of smell using cutting-edge sensory technology and AI to ultimately have application in military, agriculture, and security instances, but really kind of an interesting, exciting company. And here tonight, we have, as mentioned, 16 kind of great companies. We're going to have 6 finalists present from Canada, 10 from the U.S. Each entrepreneur is going to have 5 minutes to tell us about what they're building, what their product is, why the world can't kind of live without them. We will ultimately be giving away prizes to the first and second place. Those prizes are going to be kind of awarded by our judges. We have a great distinguished panel of judges that will ultimately kind of evaluate and select. All our judges have both experience as a CEO of an early stage company as well as investing in early stage companies. The judges are Doug Levin, who's a serial entrepreneur, mentor, investor, and just extremely active in the early stage ecosystem. Deepak Verma, an experienced CEO and currently a partner at InnoSpark Ventures. Betty Francisco, investor, entrepreneur, and currently the GC at Compass Working Capital. And Jeffrey Beer, a seasoned executive, CEO, mentor, and investor as well. So, truly a distinguished group. And what's really interesting and exciting and unique about the opportunity is they are evaluating the startups here tonight based on the same criteria and evaluation metrics as thousands of companies across the globe are being evaluated. So very much an apples to apples comparison as much as can be. As mentioned earlier, super excited to be giving away $70,000 in non-dilutive cash prizes here tonight. The way that'll be broken down is ultimately the winners of both the Canadian kind of group and the US group will get $25,000 in non-dilutive cash from GSVlabs, as well as an opportunity to go to Riyadh and pitch for up to $5 million at the global finals, as well as an all-inclusive paid trip to the Global Entrepreneurship Network Congress, with details on that to be announced. The second place finishers will all get $10,000 in cash prizes, and then everyone who's participating tonight will get a free hot desk at GSVlabs available to them, as well as an annual contract to our GSVlabs Passport platform. So a lot of good prizes, a lot of great companies, really an exciting night. And ultimately want to help thank the people who made tonight possible, which are our sponsors. As to not get this one wrong, all our startups, all our sponsors basically have products and offering services and tools that are highly relevant for early stage technology companies. We either use them at GSVlabs or recommend them to all our companies. And our sponsors are SendGrid. SendGrid is a leader in trusted email delivery, cloud-based solution that sends transactional and marketing emails for over 58,000 paying customers. BREX. BREX is the smartest corporate card for startups. It offers instant approvals, no personal guarantees, the highest limits by far, and comes with built-in expense management platform. Our friends at Leyton. Every year, billions of dollars in credits go unclaimed because many companies don't realize they're eligible. Leyton ultimately helps entrepreneurs everywhere get the most out of their R&D tax credit, paying taxes or not. SVAM provides a suite of services that include custom application development and systems integration services, big data analytics, consulting, and staff augmentation. And lastly, Citi National Bank offers a full complement of banking, trust, and investment services through 70 offices, including 19 full-service regional centers in Southern California and San Francisco, Nevada, New York, Nashville, Atlanta, Minneapolis, and Washington, D.C. And then just would love everyone to take a minute and just kind of provide some applause and kind of just acknowledgement to the sponsors, the organizers, and the judges for really making this evening possible. And last, we're going to turn it over to Kara O'Keefe. Kara's the startup director here at GSVlabs in Boston. Ultimately, she's going to be the MC for this evening and is responsible for making sure everything's running on pace.
All right, great. So we're going to start off today with our Canadian finalists. We have 6 companies that will be presenting. So our first finalist for today is Ross Arsenal, the COO and co-founder of Assured Innovations.
Perfect. Test, test, test. Good. Fire when ready? Oh. Assured develops sustainability enabling technology for commercial fishers. The current state of trap fishing leaves millions of vertical lines unattended throughout the water column. As a result of this directly leads to 640,000 tons of this fishing gear becoming ocean waste every year, also directly leading to the deaths of 140,000 endangered marine animals. Now, this is an environmental disaster, but an economic one at just the same rate. Canada spends $32 million every year flying planes over the ocean to spot these whales. If they see a whale, well, then they send out a rescue crew and close the zone for 15 days, which means if you fish in that zone, you don't get an income. California decided they wanted to avoid the planes, and they just went with a 3-month closure. So if you're a crab fisherman in California, you don't get to work for 3 months, no income for you. That gets expensive when you're also spending $20,000, $30,000 on gear replacement and repairs every year. Commercial fishing is no longer going to be profitable in a very short amount of time, and we're the ones who are to blame, not just the fishermen. And so if you allow the fishermen to store their gear on the ocean floor, it removes these issues. By allowing the gear to be coiled up along with the buoys, a proprietary signal can be sent down, ultimately releasing that gear to the surface where it can be hauled aboard using all existing processes. But if you have your gear on the ocean floor, you also need to know where it is. And so we've created a digital mapping platform that allows them to automate all of the tracking of their gear, all of the locations, and all of the logs of the actual catches themselves. So this automates that for them and ultimately creating a map of what would be the ocean floor, visible as if it were the ocean surface. Now, this market for ropeless fishing, and by ropeless I mean removal of ropes from the water column, has an $18.5 billion market potential, with 2.2 of that realizable in North America in the next 5 to 7 years, for a total of 5 companies in the industry. Now, we don't believe smelts will make it to a commercial stage, but within the other 3 companies, these are mostly using off-the-shelf commercial components that are either overkill or are not powered enough for the appropriate depths. Fio Marine does not have their equipment verified from North American fishing depths. EdgeTex is currently 2.5 times our price, and Desert Star uses a PVC pipe and ultimately extends the working day of a fisherman by about double. Our pricing for a Mobi unit would be about $1,800 with a vessel setup, including the scanners, as well as the ability to talk to that gear on the ocean floor for about $5,000. In Canada and in Europe, there are 80% subsidies to cover these costs. In the US, though, we've validated all of these pricing numbers on the notion of no subsidies and just payback periods on gear loss. So if you face one closure, you're getting your money back right away. We've set up 6 major milestones of development, and we're on track for all of them. We hit our first 2. We kind of merged our second 2, and I'll be able to turn those into full checks within the next week and a half, which is exciting. And we have our 2 other milestones prior to revenue generation in early 2020. Myself and Aaron, we have a background in technology, entrepreneurship, and innovation. And our third partner, Max, he comes from a lobster fishing family and has a background in market research and robotics. But everyone on our team is important, whether it's their engineering role, R&D, and each individual has a specialized talent that's allowed us to move at a great pace and using our resources well. We also have advisors. Catherine has provided us great Silicon Valley level advice. Alan Archibald had exits in the lobster fishing industry, and Bruce Batstone is considered an expert in environmental engineering and analysis. We've also used acceleration in competitions, getting about $100,000 through those to get to where we are now. And we've also done pilot programs alongside the federal government and several fisheries in Atlantic Canada, starting last October, and we've been continuing to do those as a friend of, actually not a friend, Max, one of my other co-founders. He built a boat so that we could do testing, which has been phenomenal. And so that's going to put us on track for $1 million grant for later this year to continue doing that testing for full season in 2020. Now, this is mostly just to illustrate the hockey stick growth, because I don't have time to show you really anything else. But our breakdown of our costs really focuses on piloting, prototyping, and R&D for 2020, and that's where essentially, if we're fortunate enough to get these funds, where the money would go. Thank you.
Okay, so next we have Devin Young, co-founder and president of Classcraft. They are founded out of Sherbrooke, Quebec.
Can I grab the clicker?
Absolutely. Sorry.
Thanks. Hey. Hi, my name is Devin Young. I'm the president and co-founder of Classcraft, and we are gamifying the experience of going to school. This is a beautiful animated GIF that you can't see because it's a PDF, but if you've ever been in a school with students doing this, then you basically know why we're doing what we're doing. Games are really powerful at internalizing motivation, and we think that the gaming mechanics that are prevalent in the industry can be applied to K-12. So basically, our thesis is student engagement is really at the root of all the issues in K-12. If students want to be there, then dropout rates, academic performance, social emotional development have a chance of really excelling. And so what we're building is an engagement management system. So in schools, we have systems where we hand in homework, we do attendance, we manage the classroom, and what we're managing is really the experience of going to school. And so we turn the school year into a game where students are getting points across all their different classes, and essentially the classroom becomes a game. We have teachers using it really simply with iPads. The classroom is experienced the same way that it normally would. Teachers are observing real-life behaviors and understanding what's going on in the class. Students are leveling up as a result. We also have schools that went nuts and turned their school into Hogwarts and built houses across all the grades, and they have like dance competitions in the gym, and it's pretty powerful in terms of the impact that it can bring to students. We launched 5 years ago. We have 5.5 million users. We're in 165 countries. 1 in 3 schools in the US has teachers using it. We're in 11 languages. We're generating revenue. I run the company with my brother and my dad. It does feel like allowance when I get a paycheck from my dad every month. But we have a really amazing team. My brother taught for 10 years in the classroom. I'm a creative director, and so we worked prior for a number of years. My dad has really deep business acumen. And we've built a really strong team. We have 50 people on staff. We have educators, people that have built schools. We have marketing folks out of Ogilvy, communications people that have been in the industry for a decade. We're currently hiring a CRO and bolstering our sales effort to kind of take it to the next level, and a ton of advisors that have a ton of relevant experience. The experience itself touches classroom management and developing non-cognitive skills, social emotional development, a lot of things that are really going to be important for the future workforce. We also have the ability to create quests around content, and so we've started partnering with different folks and really turning essentially homework into this epic adventure. We've built out a trailer for this year. We're doing season 1 of Classcraft with episodes every month, and so it's going to be kind of pulling on what drives binge watching on Netflix. We built an analytics platform, so we have Google Analytics essentially for social, emotional, and skill development within the classroom. We're capturing 50 million data points a month. It's super powerful for school administrators to have access to this stuff. It's stuff that they just don't have. We are also working on an AI project with the University of Montreal and the EdTech Chair of Canada. And we're going to be building real-time professional development for teachers based on how their students are actually using Classcraft within the classroom. This doesn't exist. This is like science fiction when it comes to K-12. The TAM is in the US, 500 million ARR a year. And we really see the opportunity to grow how much we're charging per student based on essentially this PD model, where there's a lot of budget for professional development on teachers and then scaling that internationally, which has been happening already organically. And in terms of competition, there's nobody who's really addressing engagement at a systemic level the way that we are. And so what we see is actually an opportunity to partner with them, and we started doing that. And so so that's it. My name is Devin. We're in Canada. Our burn's super low. It's awesome. So that's another thing. Go Canada. Yeah, and I'm around, so ask me any questions. Thanks.
So next up, we have Amar Abdul-Jawad. Did I do okay? The co-founder and CEO of Nerve Technologies out of Waterloo, Ontario.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Amar Abdul-Jawad, the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Nerve, and we are on a mission to make surgeries safer. We're focused on abdominal surgeries, and typically in these procedures, a surgeon would remove a portion of the GI tract and then reconnect it once again with staples and sutures. Unfortunately, because of changes in tension along the GI tract, that staple line could get compromised and content from within the tract can leak into the abdominal cavity. Now, this is very dangerous and difficult to detect and can lead to thousands of lost lives every year. To give you a perspective on the numbers, there are approximately 1.7 million high-risk abdominal surgeries that are performed every year in the United States, and on average, 8% of those patients end up suffering from leaks. Unfortunately, due to the late detection of those leaks, we end up losing roughly 1 out of 10 patients. The current standard of care utilizes a combination of nurse follow-ups, laboratory investigations, imaging, and even re-operating on a patient once again to determine if a leak is happening. However, these solutions suffer from a number of challenges. First of all, they're delayed and incapable of identifying the leak as soon as it happens. In some cases, they're even ineffective, failing to identify some of those leaks. The fact that they're delayed can make it very painful for the patient, and it becomes very costly to diagnose and then treat one of those leaks. At Nerve, we're developing sensors that are embedded in wound drains and catheters to identify those leaks as soon as they happen. On the left is our inline device, which gets attached to existing wound drains. So by simply squeezing that bulb, you can extract fluid from the abdominal cavity. And as it goes across our sensors, the sensors can analyze the fluid that's coming out to identify if a leak is happening. For surgeons who prefer not to use wound drains, our same sensors can be integrated in catheters that are placed inside of the abdominal cavity to continuously analyze the fluid from inside of the body. In both cases, it can simply be removed in an outpatient setting by simply pulling the tube out of the body. To better understand how this works, the sensors get placed near the abdominal cavity in the surgical site, and it can continuously monitor the patient, where the information gets uploaded to the cloud so that a real-time prediction and detection algorithm would identify the fluid that is coming out and do the analysis accordingly. If a leak does happen, the physician would get notified immediately so that they can intervene in a timely manner. There's a huge gap in the market, and this gap is represented by roughly 60 million general and abdominal surgeries that are performed annually around the world. We're targeting the high-risk abdominal surgeries, which account for 1.7 million surgeries every year. Our solution would be sold directly to hospitals for $400 a unit, and we're targeting the high-volume hospitals, so we're anticipating 1,500 surgeries per hospital per year, allowing us to generate a gross revenue of $600,000 per hospital per year. And these are just some of the hospitals that we're currently about to start working with for our clinical trials, and we expect those to be our early adopters as well. Nerve has a solution for the problem, and we also have the right team to deliver it. We have experiences ranging from electrical to nanotechnology engineering, as well as biochemistry and biomedical sciences, and business and entrepreneurship. Our team has so far allowed us to garner a lot of attention from more than 60 physicians who've identified that there's an immediate need for this solution in the market, 6 of which have invested in the company to date, and 2 are active medical champions for this device. We've also received a letter of intent from Houston Methodist, one of the largest hospitals in Texas, and we're in active conversations with industry leaders such as J&J and Medtronic. To date, we've developed our core technology, which has been tested in an animal model, where we were able to detect the leaks in under 3 minutes, which is a significant improvement compared to the current standard of care, where it can take 2 to 3 days to identify some of those leaks. We're gearing up for our GLP animal studies for regulatory submissions so that we're ready for market by mid-2021. We've raised over $1 million to date in funding, and we're currently closing up on a $750K pre-seed round, of which we have 95% of it committed to date, leading up to a seed round of $2.5 million to fund our clinical studies. I'm Amr Abdul Jawad, and we are Nerve, building a future of safe surgeries. Thank you.
So our next finalist is actually going to be presenting to us virtually.
We've developed a collaborative welding robot called Spool Welding Robot as part of our robotic welding platform in 2017. This is a patented technology. We have also additional products that we're working on and have been released, including Nava and Arcwood. We had an amazing growth in 2018, going from growing by 4.7x. And our shareholders include financial investors such as BDC, as well as strategic investors, SVAM, and Abaco Binzel, one of the well-established welding brands in the welding industry. The problem we're trying to solve is the fact that pipe welding, for the most part, is being done manually. This process requires highly skilled and highly talented welders to hold torches with their hand and do this work for hours and hours in a day. Because it's a manual process, it is inefficient and inconsistent. In addition, these welders are very expensive. Some of them are making six figures in US. But the biggest problem is that the demand for the work is outstripping the supply. American Welding Society predicts there's going to be a shortage of 400,000 welders in about 6 years' time. And this is a problem that's getting worse as baby boomers are retiring and millennials don't want to start careers in the trades, especially welding. Our customers are typically pipe fabrication shops that service any of these industries. A lot of pipes are used in oil and gas, in building oil refineries, offshore platforms, as well as petroleum plants. In addition to this, we got the shipbuilding sector to build large vessels that use a lot of pipes, as well as EPCs and mechanical contractors that build pipes for municipal, residential, or commercial applications. Our solution is SWR, which is the world's first welding cobot, increases the shop's throughput by a factor of up to 3x and productivity by a factor of 4x, lowers the cost per joint by 75%, and improves the weld quality in terms of repair rates. We sell these robots for about $300,000, but we make also additional revenue from options that are sold with the machine, including positioners and services, including our Novar care packages. Each customer is looking at more than buying more than one unit, up to 30 units or more. For the customer lifetime value, depending on the size of the company, would be from $700K to about $30 million. Some of our customers that you see on this page have units operational for about 2 years now. They're very happy with them. We have also units now in UAE and in Germany. Our go-to-market plan is to go direct by our own sales and marketing team in North America, but we're also going through Abaco Binzel as our distributor worldwide, and we have signed them up as an exclusive distributor outside of Canada and US. We can also use the help of other parties, such as Lincoln Electric. This graph showing our traction to date, and this year we're planning to continue this trajectory. The most exciting part of our work is making the robot now more intelligent using machine learning and vision systems. So we've been able to reach level 2, and we're currently in autonomy, and we're now working on level 3 conditional automation for equipment. We have a highly skilled, experienced team running this company, all seasoned, experienced managers and VPs, as well as serial entrepreneurs. So to summarize it all, we have all the ingredients to succeed. We have a strong IP portfolio, fast return investment for our customers, and we have been outsourcing all the manufacturing with the strategic alliances. I believe we have all the ingredients to succeed.
Hello everyone, my name is Hai Hu. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Retail Deep. And we are, sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. Again, we are bringing computer vision to every store. The problem we're solving for brick and mortar retail is probably the most valuable problem. Who is my customer in my stores? Unlike Amazon and now Whole Foods knows exactly who's doing what in their stores, retailers have less than none ideas on who's in their stores and doing what. Computer vision and AI can definitely help with that. But why we haven't seen a widely adoption? There are three major blockers. First is cost. According to Amazon, it costs about $6,500 to transfer, store, and analyze footage from one camera out of one store per month. Second is the talent. You have to compete with companies like us and Google for computer vision AI people to hook platform technology from most vendors nowadays into your system to make sense. Third is the ever-changing regulation and privacy that sometimes scares retailers off this technology. In comes Retail Deep, an affordable, fully integrated, turnkey solution that helps retailers recognize, engage, and monetize customers with GDPR compliance and PIPEDA compliance. What we do is we integrate the industry-leading computer vision APIs into retailers' backend data, providing an all-in-one solution for anti-theft, traffic analytics, personalization, and more. So how are we helping them? We are working with China's largest fashion retailer now to help them increase traffic counting accuracy by 15%. But most important is we are helping them first time in history measure the effectiveness of their in-store marketing. So we tell them the traffic increase of a certain demographic they're targeting online. We're also working on the same time with US's top home improvement retailer on a project aiming to increase their pro penetration by 5%, which adds up to 7 million additional revenue per store per year. So how is that different from our competition? First, we are not relying on cloud-based processing, which is very costly, or any proprietary hardware. It's very expensive upfront. And we're using off-the-shelf Android phones and our proprietary AI algorithm to filter through the streams of video and reduce the CAPEX and OPEX by 20 times. By doing that, we can use 3 vendors, top vendors of the world, not one, to create a committee to guarantee, theoretically, the best accuracy in the world. The market is immense. China, US alone, for grocery, fashion, and home improvement, 800,000 stores providing a 1.6 billion ARR revenue for us. That's why, since launching in March, we received inbound leads from over 100 retailers and brands, currently have 15 active discussions on pilots with Walmart Mexico, Estée Lauder in UK, bestseller in China, Sobeys in Canada, as well as Cartier. Here are some photos from Estée, and yes, we love Google and Google loves us back at NRF. The team, both co-founders are PhDs with 15 years experience in computer vision and machine learning, published 30 papers together. And we built China's first Amazon Go-like store in Shanghai in 2017. And that got us into the first recipients of Canadian Startup Visa program into Atlantic Canada. We're currently raising $500,000 to hit a 2.5 million ARR goal. And if you're interested, talk to me. We have a demo set up over there. Thank you. We are Retail Deep, and we are bringing computer vision to every store.
Great. So for the last Canadian company to present tonight, we have Julie Hubert, the co-founder of Weave Air.
Hello. At Weave Air, we have developed a platform solution that helps us save costs and improve building operations through advanced sensors. For more than 10 years, our team has been studying building operations, and what we've discovered is that many buildings suffer from contamination, energy waste, and system failure. And all of these cause major costs. Also, many new environmental regulations are coming into play around the world, which may result in several $1 billion worth of real estate becoming obsolete. So we spoke to many building managers, and they suggested that having access to accurate remote analytics would be a game changer for them. The market is ready and the opportunity is growing. So at oeuvres, we have developed a platform solution that's composed of sensors, analytics, and services that save costs and time while improving air quality. oeuvres sensors can be attached to any vent, or they can be integrated into any air ventilation or air conditioning system, where they will collect a set of various metrics from contamination to comfort to occupancy and performance. They're also very easy to install and they provide predictive analytics. And this platform can save building managers over $500,000 per year by saving on time and operational costs, as they can detect issues remotely and prevent failure and allow you to comply with the regulatory compliance. So oeuvres sensors track a larger number of metrics than our peers, which helps to improve data accuracy and helps to identify and control contamination sources more precisely. We've created, through our go-to-market channels, we have created a distribution channel partnership program, which helps us reach customers faster and at lower costs. And we have already formed key partnerships with a number of large networking device providers, telecoms, and purifier manufacturers. So our revenue model, we sell our device through a software as a service model, offering subscriptions for sensors and analytics that scale with building size, providing sensors to building managers and owners, and analytics to consultants, maintenance companies, and building system engineers. Our team has over 10 years of experience in this industry, and we span engineering, sales, marketing, and operations. We've already validated the technology in North America, Europe, Asia, and Latin America. While our initial focus is on healthcare and industrial, we ultimately look to add this into building code and make it available to commercial, industrial, retail, and transportation system managers. We've already received interest from several major companies and are piloting the solution with Unilever, Chile, NIDS, and others. We've also received over 15 awards in North America, Asia, and Europe, and signed partnership deals with several major global companies. Moving to the next stage of EWC would allow us to showcase our solution at MISC Forum, expand our pilot and partnership program, and help us identify investment opportunities. And in summary, at oeuvres, we have developed a differentiated product addressing a big opportunity. We have a great team, and we, along with our partners, we're really excited about the future. Thank you.
Awesome. So thank you so much to all our Canadian companies. We are going to collect the judges' sheets for the 6 companies that just went. So now we're going to start hearing from some East Coast companies. And we are going to start it off right now with Keith Corso, the CEO and founder of BusRight. They're just trying to figure out.
Awesome. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Keith Corso, and I'm the founder of BusRight. If you count every single mass transit vehicle in the United States, multiply that by 2, that is the number of school buses that are roaming our streets. I was stuck behind one of these school buses. It made 4 consecutive stops, and not one student got off at each stop. I looked in my rearview mirror, and there were hundreds of vehicles mimicking the wasteful motion of that school bus. So I took a deep dive, and I had to learn more. I spoke to hundreds of fleet operators, and I realized there was one problem. They're all using the same ultra antiquated, overly expensive transportation management solution. And that's Tyler Technology, a $9 billion public company founded in 1966. And I think we can agree the software reflects just that. Even if you, Jeff, are fortunate enough to pay for that expensive solution, you still need to route manually. That's why at Busright, we are building an end-to-end fleet management technology platform that promotes safety, efficiency, and transparency worldwide. Now, there are 26 million students that take student transportation every single year. And there's close to $22 billion that the US has allocated towards these services. And unlike other players that are providing proprietary, expensive hardware devices, Busright is leveraging existing gyroscopes and sensors built into your very mobile device that you're hopefully not looking at to create a telematics solution that can be downloaded in seconds. That solution today is a cost-effective, dynamic routing fleet intelligence platform that promotes safety, efficiency, and transparency. Taking a deep dive into the technology that's revolutionizing the yellow school bus, we're arming fleet operators with the tools to create the most efficient routes, distribute those routes in real time to your drivers, see visibility into driver and vehicle availability, and do that all while parents no longer have to wait in the frigid winter mornings wondering where their child's bus is. All while bus drivers no longer have to stop at streets that students are simply not even on the bus for. That device that interfaces with the driver captures daily ridership information. So if Jeff and Keith are playing sports after school, we're not factored into that equation. We're already seeing adjacent transportation verticals leveraging the Busright technology, and we're not changing the product. And just last week, we were fortunate enough to land a new fleet every single day, Monday through Friday, on the Busright platform. By leveraging the over 3,000 industry relationships that the Busright team has, access to over 50,000 transportation professionals, and what I'm most excited about, our most recent hire, a journalist that's renowned for her work covering student transportation. She's been featured in the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. Now, we're charging a subscription per vehicle per month, but taking a step back, how wasteful is this industry? Across the nation, 40% of school bus seats are actually used, which means waste across all school buses in the United States is over $13 billion. Taking a deep dive into our business model, if you multiply that out by the number of school buses in the country, you get an addressable market that's over $2 billion. This is a really exciting time for the Busright team. We're starting full-time in 2019. This is the purchasing period for the upcoming school year. And this is when fleet operators are building routes via pen and paper. And Chris and I, the CTO, grew up next to each other. We've built out a team that's led some of the largest districts in the country, has worked at some of the leading technology companies in the world, and we're matching institutional knowledge with technology talent. If we are fortunate enough to win the $25,000 tonight, we'll be able to bring on 4 additional districts for the upcoming school year, continue representing Boston-based talent on a global scale, and servicing fleet operators by providing technology that promotes efficient, safe, and transparent school bus routes alike. Thank you all so much for your time tonight.
Okay, now it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Amy Sperling, the co-founder and CEO of Compt.
Make sure, get my spot here. Hi, I'm Amy Sperling. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Compt. Compt is the personalized, easy, and cost-effective approach to employee lifestyle benefits. So I've spent the last 20 years building companies, so mostly as CFO and COO, where it was my responsibility as we were managing teams to figure out how you attract and retain the best the best talent. That gave me a front row seat to seeing how this evolution of our workforce has really changed. So when I first started my career, companies were very authoritarian. It was, here's your salary, sit there, you should be very excited about the fact that you have a job, that's about it. With the internet, that changed things. So now employees are walking in the door as candidates saying, hey, I know what my market rate is. What else have you got to offer? Because if you're not going to pay my market rate, I'm going to go up the street. So this is when companies started getting into the perk game. So they started bringing in things like kombucha on tap and ping pong tables and all kinds of nice to have things that were really flashy to begin with. But as a company started bringing them on, all their competitors did as well. This became a really big mess inside companies, including my own. And so that's where we decided, like, okay, there's something else that needs to be done here. We need the next evolution of this. So we're sitting in an interesting place in the market right now. We've got incredibly low unemployment. We've got a massive skills gap across the US. So 6.2 million jobs are open right now across our top 10 cities. Can't be filled. There's not enough skilled labor to fill them. That when companies are looking at their employee retention, it's costing them $160 billion a year to backfill these employees as they move from company to company. You combine that with the fact that they need this best talent, companies are trying to move away from these nice-to-have perks into lifestyle benefits. So lifestyle benefits are things like student loan forgiveness, elder care, child care, things that really impact your day-to-day as an employee. It's part of your actual life. The goals are similar to things that we've wanted in the past. We want to retain the best employees. We want to attract the best employees. We want to hire a diverse slate of talent because companies are realizing more diversity around the team actually makes for better companies, and companies want to support their employees' whole lives. The problem is that the systems that were available, the systems that I had available as a CFO, missed the mark entirely on how we were going to manage this. They don't deal with the fact that there's remote employees now and there's satellite offices. There's no consistency of benefits. It's all at the headquarters. They don't address the fact that we have 5 generations at work for the first time ever. A 22-year-old needs something very different than a 55-year-old. They are not personalized for every single individual. They're super costly and expensive to manage. And at the end of the day, HR is being tasked with how do we just find the cool new hot thing to attract these folks, but it's not necessarily something that aligns with their culture and their values. So HR has been given this impossible task of find the best perk that's going to make everyone happy. Like, newsflash, there is no one thing that's going to make everyone happy. And so that's why at Compt, we think rather than trying to cherry pick and pick the thing that's going to make everyone happy, impossible task, we think you should be able to allow employees that choice for themselves and to be able to select their own benefits. So the way this works is what we've built out is lifestyle spending accounts. So lifestyle spending accounts are different from anything else on the market. They're not a vendor aggregator. They're not a vendor management system. I don't build a better list of vendors than anyone else in HR. It's really, truly getting to how do you offer almost unlimited benefits to employees where they can choose for themselves while companies can still manage a budget and make sure that things are aligning with their culture. So the way this works is that as a company, you set your budget. You say, okay, we want to spend $100 a month. We want to spend $10,000 a year per employee, whatever you want, what matters, what manages to your fiscal budget. Then you select categories that are deliberately very broadly defined. So things like health and wellness, family, continuous learning. And then you let employees really determine what that means to them individually. So instead of having this parental figure who's prescribing benefits for you, you're making that decision for yourself. So for me, for family, maybe it's sending flowers to my mom. For my co-founder, maybe it's getting a babysitter for the night she's a new mom. For the technology folks on our team, maybe it's getting pet insurance because they all have cats. They get to determine who is in their family. My cat lovers, those are their pet children. And so they get to determine that instead of having them being described to them by someone in the company that says, hey, you know what, your family is defined as your spouse and your children. So it's really allowing for that unlimited personalization. Now at Compt, we exist to create these environments of balance and belonging because we believe that that is the way that every single person has the ability to live their best lives. Thank you.
So for our next company, we're going to have Yishi Zhou, the CEO and founder of DeepBench. Here you are.
Thanks, Kara. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here, and thank you all for coming. My name is Yishi Zhou, and I am the CEO and co-founder of DeepBench. DeepBench builds expertise matching platforms for enterprises. There's a lot of smart people in the room right now, and I'm a little bit humbled by the collective intelligence of everyone here. The decades of life experience and work experience that every single one of you has is incredibly powerful. But it's also a little bit sad if you think about it, because unless someone asks us a question or talks to us, a lot of those valuable knowledge is trapped. It's tucked away in a corner of our minds. And given current technology, unless our insights are written down somewhere, it's really hard to access. Not even Google can access the information in our heads. And think about the knowledge that you have and multiply that by the 100 people in the room right now, and multiply that by the 300 million knowledge workers across the world, and we're sitting on top of a gold mine. This is a huge opportunity. The world spent $76 billion on market research this past year. And that doesn't even include the time people spent digging around for knowledge on Google or you asking your friends for help. My co-founders and I used to work in large enterprises. We felt the pain points firsthand. We recognized how expensive it was to find knowledge from outside of our organizations and how difficult it was to find the right person to answer our questions from within our organizations. When you're in a large organization, you typically ping your friends for help, you rely on informal networks. But how do you know when you found the right person to answer your question? And how do you get them to respond? Well, DeepBench is solving that problem. Our software system identifies who knows what, and then efficiently connects those who have questions with those who have answers. And the beauty of machine learning enables our system to improve over time. Our team met at MIT during entrepreneurship classes. We scaled up DeepBench while we were full-time students. And we graduated last year, and soon after, large multi-billion-dollar organizations started approaching us wanting to license our software. Within a few months, we reached our first six-figure enterprise agreement with a $30 billion global investment bank. These enterprises are using our software not only to connect their employees to each other to answer questions, but to also connect their employees with their customers. They see our platform as a way for them to generate additional revenue by sharing their knowledge, and also to build better relationships with their customers. And we're very excited that we have multiple six-figure contracts in deployment, including the newest one with a Fortune 50, $100 billion tech company. But what excites us most isn't closing six-figure deals. It's actually our long-term vision. In the future, we envision a world where DeepBench becomes the go-to information platform for all enterprises and all of their workers. We will be the place where professionals at every enterprise come to seek knowledge and also share their knowledge. We'll be able to tap into metadata, email systems, Slack channels, and use that to improve the collective wisdom of the enterprise. In the future, DeepBench will be the centerpiece of the knowledge economy. Imagine your enterprise's knowledge, collective intelligence at your fingertips, the world's knowledge at your fingertips. That is the vision of DeepBench. And if you're as excited about our vision as we are, come find me after the presentation or shoot me an email, ishi@deepbench.io. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So next up, we have David Zamarin, the CEO and founder of Detrapel.
Oh, there's an error. Had to be me, right? That's not me. No, I mean the proverbial you. Right. All right, so imagine you're driving to the Entrepreneurship World Cup and you're drinking your favorite beverage, when all of a sudden the car in front of you just slams its brakes and you spill it all over your shirt. Now you're sitting in the front row looking and feeling like an idiot. And then after the event, you're going to end up going home and you're going to use harmful chemical cleaners to try to get those stains out. But let's be honest, we all know they are not going to work. So you're going to end up throwing away an otherwise perfectly good shirt and contributing to the ever-growing crisis of overconsumption and increased waste in landfills. In other words, stains suck, and they're embarrassing, and they're extremely hard to clean, and they lead to this. So how do we solve this? Because people want a solution that can help them protect their valuables from water and stain damage, and they want to be able to do that to save time and money by extending the lifespan of their products. And they want to be able to do this without posing any health risks to themselves or their loved ones. But the current reality is that there are no other safe options on the market because all other protective coatings use fluorochemicals. And fluorochemicals are cancerous chemicals that are linked to reproductive problems and other major environmental effects. Until now, meet Detrapel, where we provide products that help protect your valuables, save you time and money, and we eliminate any health risks because we use zero fluorochemicals. And we achieve this through our innovative nanotechnology and breakthrough processes that still allow us to be priced competitively while being safe on the environment and to the people that you love. Well, there's a slide missing, but simply put, our products repel liquids, block stains, and are safe everywhere. And so how do we achieve this magic? Well, it's behind all the science. Essentially, we've invented super hydrophobic invisible barriers that can be applied to any surface. And when that surface comes in contact with liquid, the liquid just beads right up and rolls right off. That's where it's supposed to be. Simply put, our product repels liquids, blocks stains, and is safe everywhere. My name is David Zamarin. I'm the 21-year-old founder, but I've been working on this since I was 16. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my amazing team, which has over 40 years of combined experience in sales, marketing, and operations, and an additional 40 years of experience in R&D. This incredibly talented team has geared up to tackle the nanocoatings industry, which is growing to be a $43.3 billion industry. And we are doing this already in two different ways. First is the B2C segment of our business, where we have an online and subscription model for sales, as well as we target big box retailers in order to grow our brand. And we do this so that we can approach our B2B clients like manufacturers and service providers so that they can put our products into their production line before they create their products. Some of our B2B products include protectors for stone and concrete, protectors against graffiti on walls, and even protection for electronics. But the possibilities are endless because our core competencies mean that we're the only products that are non-toxic, safe on all surfaces. We offer a 1-year coverage with one application, and we're the only other company that has any third-party accreditation. And we bring all of this together with our innovative delivery system. If you talk to us out there, you'll see we have this pressurized air container, which has a pressurized system on the bottom that is powered purely by air and zero harmful chemical gases. The piston moves up as you use it, so it completely revolutionizes the customer experience. We do all of this because we are more than just a brand. We have internal R&D, proprietary IP, and we've built amazing relationships because we're driven by a desire to tackle the growing environmental issues caused by increased waste. And we also believe that it's time for large corporations to start taking responsibility of their manufacturing. Be a part of the movement and join us while we tackle an outdated industry that has been putting people's lives in danger for far too long. Join us so that you can stop stresses, prevent messes, and above all else, protect what you love. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope that was not as scary as Shark Tank. I apologize. So next up, we have Alon Greenspoon of, sorry, I think I just said this, of Echo AR.
Want to see something mind-blowing? As an engineer at Columbia University, I built an augmented reality application for a physician to see the patient's heart floating above them during surgery. For every surgical case, I had to physically go to the hospital, take 2D scans, convert them to 3D models, rebuild the application, and deploy it to smart glasses for a physician to wear. That process was so frustrating. It took so much time. And as a developer, I only wanted to do 2 things: manage 3D assets and deliver them to an AR device. And when talking to other developers building augmented reality applications for retail, brands, gaming, and more, they all said the same thing. There is no easy way to manage and deliver 3D assets. But wait, companies have solved this problem for 2D. Heroku created the best cloud platform for web and later acquired by Salesforce. Parse and Firebase created the best cloud platforms for mobile and later acquired by Google and Facebook. So who will solve the same issue for immersive 3D content in augmented reality? I'm Alon, CEO of Echo AR, and we've built the best cloud platform for augmented reality. For developers and companies building augmented reality applications, we provide tools and network infrastructure so they can quickly build and deploy AR apps across platforms and in real time. Think about it. You don't need to be a web developer to update a blog post. You can drag and drop an image or video, instantly it appears on web and mobile. And if I'm in New York and you're in California and with Bo watching Narcos on Netflix, we automatically get the best streaming experience. We are translating these concepts into augmented reality, providing you a way to drag and drop 3D models, animations, interactive content, and match them with targets in the real world and get the best 3D streaming experience. Here's how it works. Developers choose any client-side platform. If it's Android, iOS, Magic Leap, HoloLens, Web, you name it. Content creators drag and drop a 3D model. No technical skills, as easy as updating a blog post. We build, store, and deliver those assets to headsets, applications, web browsers, everywhere. We put the data at the edge of the network to make sure your users are getting the fastest download and freshest content. And we provide you with analytics so you can monitor user engagement and improve your 3D data in augmented reality. Developers today who are building apps on Echo AR are able to build once and deploy across all platforms and save major costs and time on building their app backend. We operate in a simple subscription model. The more 3D models you have, the more assets are downloaded, the more you pay. Our backend scales automatically to provide you with more bandwidth and storage at an affordable rate. At Echo AR, we're obsessed with making developers' lives easier. That's why we focus our go-to-market strategy on building a large developer community. We are there for major hackathons, meetups, and events, and have collaborations with research labs in New York. We already have over 130 developers registered for our platform, building augmented reality applications in big industries for healthcare, indoor navigation, brands, retail, and more. Our user growth has grown 10% week over week on word of mouth alone. And when all the industry leaders agree that the AR market is ready, since millions of users are already adopting this technology in the day-to-day lives, and companies are spending billions of dollars building new headsets and applications, that our cloud connects them all. We are a team of experts in augmented reality and cloud, alumni of Columbia Engineering, Columbia Law School, and Cisco, and with the support of Techstars and grants from Y Combinator and NYC Media Lab, we are the right team to make augmented reality scale. We need your help. We need your help to keep running. This is our effort to build the best backend for the most front-end industry of all time. So come see our demo later at the room. I promise you that I'll show you a demo powered by Echo AR that will blow your mind. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome. So next up, we have Khalid Khatili, founder and CEO of Legacy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Khalid Khatili, and I'm the CEO of Legacy. Legacy helps men test, improve, and freeze their sperm. Because most people don't know that my animations aren't working, but also that in the past 40 years, male fertility has gone down by about 50%. Infertility actually affects about 1 in 7 couples worldwide, But we still think about fertility as a women's issue, and that point of view is outdated and wrong, because 30 to 50% of infertility cases are caused by the male factor. In fact, male fertility decreases every year as a man gets older. Every man who's thinking about having a child should also be thinking about testing and freezing his sperm. But believe me on this, the process of going to a clinic to get tested is the most awkward, uncomfortable experience you can imagine. That's where legacy comes in. We created the first at-home option for men to produce a deposit from home, and then we take care of everything else: the shipping, the analysis, and the cryogenic storage. The whole process takes 48 hours from start to finish, and we look at about 50 different data points to generate a personalized report with recommendations for our clients. Now, over the past year, we've uncovered 3 fundamental and hidden truths that are driving the industry towards an inflection point. Number 1, social norms are changing. Couples have children later and later than they have in the past. This has a compounding negative effect on fertility. And partially for this reason, employees are turning to their employers to cover fertility benefits. 68% of employees today are looking to their employer to cover benefits like fertility. The second is that fertility is a growing challenge, but one that remains hidden because it's such a sensitive and intimate topic. We know that the use of assisted reproductive technology has gone up 10x over the last decade. But when you treat fertility as an issue to be hidden, in particular for men, you're actually missing half the equation. That's why the branding of legacy is so important. Number 3, what makes the business model so compelling is that the average man who freezes his sperm stays a client for 10 years or more, and we know this from existing clinics. And in fact, since we started taking on clients in January, our attrition rate has been 0%. This translates to a customer lifetime value of approximately $2,000. Now, the market today is already compelling. If you look just at couples that are facing fertility challenges, that's a $7.3 billion market alone. But what really drives the market is the creation of a new social norm around sperm freezing, the same as has happened to egg freezing over the past 5 years. That's a $40 billion industry when you're targeting men 20 to 40 who can afford and are interested in a product like Legacy's. So we've seen 30% month-on-month growth over the past 7 months. How have we done this? 1, partnering with female fertility companies, because women are the chief medical officers of the household. So this includes companies that offer female fertility tracking devices like ABBA Health, at-home fertility testing like Modern Fertility, egg preservation and freezing like Extend Fertility. The second is employers, and in particular, companies that provide fertility benefits to employers. Progeny and Carrot alone cover 2 million employees, and we know that male fertility analysis is a pain point for them. And the third is providing an accessible, affordable, direct-to-consumer option for either men or their partners. Now, the team blends business and healthcare backgrounds as well as expertise in fertility, and our advisory board is some of the best in the world. So I spent years working as a health and life sciences consultant. I studied business at McGill and policy at Harvard. Sarah comes with years of experience working in egg freezing, and Daniel comes from a family of fertility specialists and is a former entrepreneur himself. And our world-class advisory board, you might not know them, but they are the Beyonce of the male fertility world. Now, we've already seen momentum over the past 7 months. We won TechCrunch Disrupt Startup Battlefield late last year. We were funded by Bain Capital Ventures. We've been covered and featured in the New York Times and Washington Post, and we're part of Y Combinator's Summer Batch in San Francisco. Now, all this matters for one reason and one reason alone. And what we know more than anything is that in the future, legacy will be the norm. Thank you.
All right, sorry about that. We're going to switch it over. So next I would like to welcome Amanda. She is the founder of 19th Amendment and made it from New York. Maybe try not to hold them next to each other. I'm sorry? Try not to hold them next to each other.
Okay. I'll try. Oops. So we're 19th Amendment, and we're bringing manufacturing to the cloud. The future is on demand. Today, you can set up a brand and an e-commerce shop in a matter of hours. Yet, the process of actually making physical product is incredibly hard. It takes months and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it causes brands to fail. Over 85% of new brands fail within 2 years. I know I had a brand in the apparel space and it did fail. But fear not. There are industry leaders like Zara and Amazon who are using technology to win. They're creating centralized supply chains and rethinking the supply chain process. So my co-founder and I got together and we thought, what if all brands didn't have to go out and reinvent the supply chain every time they wanted to make something? What if they could have a plug-and-play solution just like Zara or Amazon? Now they can. Meet 19th Amendment. We're a platform for on-demand manufacturing that enables inventory-free retailing. So I grew up in the fashion industry. I was a designer. I have extensive background in manufacturing, in retail, and in consumer SaaS. My co-founder, Gemma, is the left brain to my right brain. She has a background in VC and in product. We have an amazing development team, awesome advisors like Nina Garcia, Project Runway, and Simon Collins, and we're venture-backed. We built our entire product in-house with under $500,000 in investment. We like to call this stiletto strapping. So currently we have over 60 active paying brands, from brands just starting up all the way through to the largest brands in the world like Disney, NBC, Project Runway, and Macy's. We have a manufacturing network across the USA, so we're enabling them with our technology, and we have a waitlist of over 100. So our process takes brands all the way through from design to delivery, where they can digitize their entire design process, get real-time bids from manufacturers, and then have the entire communication stream happen in one place on one platform with the manufacturers. What's really interesting is that the consumer can be tied into that process. So, for example, the dress that I'm wearing today was designed by a designer in Dallas, Texas, and was manufactured in Dallas, Texas. And along the way, I got real-time updates saying my dress was being cut, sewn, shipped to me, etc. So I had a full fashion experience. We call this the anti-Amazon, and it's really powerful. And I'll show you why. So anti-Amazon means that we're reducing product return rates by over 86%. So brands who use our process see product return rates of only 7% on e-commerce. We're also allowing them to run really lean and reduce production time by over 90%. So it's a game changer. And in an industry where this is the second largest polluting industry in the world, we're reducing environmental impact by over 500%. So there are others in the market, but nobody else provides the full end-to-end plug-and-play solution. And in the $2 trillion apparel space, we're going after the $5.6 billion production lifecycle management software space. We make money in 3 ways: 1, through monthly subscriptions; 2, through commissions; and 3, through brand services. We will exceed our revenue this year through Project Runway. And we're planning to move into the UK and the EU in early 2020 to set up a manufacturing hub there. We have distribution in place with access to over 337,000 brands with partnerships with the CFDA, not just a label and Shopify, as well as manufacturers through the CFDA. And of course, with Project Runway, we're reaching over 2 million viewers per shoppable episode. So we're 19th Amendment, and we're taking the 100-year-old process of getting things made, making it easier, and democratizing it.
So next up, we have Evgeny. Ooh. Oh no, there could be more technical difficulties right now. I will fix this and pop it over to you. Thank you. Part runner. Here you go. I think you're good to go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Evgeny. I'm the VP of Business Development at PartRunner, which is an on-demand delivery platform for trade and construction industry. So I can bet each and every one of you that you guys have at least one of these apps downloaded on your phones, right? So this got us thinking, why there is no on-demand delivery platform for trade and construction? Construction is generally ineffective, inefficient, and most of the construction projects are either over budget or not in time. And that and since we cannot control all of the business processes involved in construction, we can only assure that the supply of material and supply of parts is consistent and on time. So this is a simplified diagram of how manufacturers first produce the parts, then distribute them to supply houses, who then sell them to contractors, and then the contractors create actual value by using those parts and materials. And there are deliveries happening in each and every step of that process. So the problem is that that is costly for supply houses and contractors to move material. They have to invest their assets, they have to invest their capital and debt into the assets. They have to then pay maintenance fees, they have to pay for wages, they have to pay for fuel, and the transportation vehicles that they are buying are usually not utilized 100%, they are standing idle. So our solution is simple. We are taking this simple idea of Uber by connecting the independent drivers that own the cars, trucks, and other delivery vehicles like vans and box trucks. And by doing that, we decrease operational efficiency, we increase productivity, and by doing that, we reduce operational costs that are involved in business processes of this industry. So the market size. In the Northeast alone, 22 billion is the number for construction projects that are happening right now. And around 5% of that is spent on transportation and logistics, which brings us to a nice little number of $1 billion. How it works? We have a fully developed product. We have a web app and a mobile application that our clients can use. There's a couple of simple forms to fulfill to schedule a delivery. Then the client gets a static price that's going to be saved while the delivery is happening. And that price is affected by three variables, which is the speed of delivery. It can be on demand, scheduled, or the same day. Vehicle type, of course, starting from just a general car, sedan, and finishing off with a box truck. And of course, distance. So let's take a peek at our past. We've launched on May 2018, and throughout this a little over a year, we've completed more than 4,000 deliveries. We've stabilized our revenue at $26,000 a month. We have around 50 very happy customers and around 35 drivers that are using our platform on a daily basis. So our growth strategy is very simple but yet demanding. First, we partner up with supply houses and contractors in different regions where they are concentrated. Then we create driver hubs that allow our company to be efficient and fulfill the demands of our customers. So, of course, we've got competition, but we try to differentiate as much as we can. We specialize in construction. We give out our drivers PPE equipment so that they can enter construction sites. That allows for more use case scenarios for our clients. We have the ability to transport large items. We have the ability to integrate to the e-commerce APIs, making it a very easy and seamless process for the customers to order from those e-commerce sites of the supply houses. And we've got help. On the bottom here, you can see the companies and organizations that are helping us with resources, spaces, and the board of advisors that is helping us to bring this business to the future with their knowledge and expertise. Thank you very much. You've been great.
Careful with that. Okay. Next up is Krenar, the CEO and founder of Tive. Here you are. Safely in your hands. This one right, you got it.
All right. How's everybody doing? It was a good lineup, 2 supply chain companies, now another one. It's perfect. Hi, I'm Krenar Kamoni, CEO and founder of Tive. We help companies by showing them where their products are and how those products are doing while in transit throughout the globe. In the last 3 quarters, we have signed up some of the world's largest companies into our platform and have had 65% quarter-over-quarter growth. This is a testament to a real problem we're solving in the market. Today, companies waste over $100 billion a year due to lack of visibility. That's due to increase in working capital, increase in inventory and safety stocks, causing supply chain efficiencies, and worst of all, customer complaints because they don't know where their shipments are and how those shipments are doing. Today's solutions cannot solve this problem. World's most sophisticated companies with complex supply chains get 35% visibility on average across their shipments. That means they don't know where 2 out of their 3 shipments are. Why is that? Because of limited availability of data coming from the assets like trucks, trains, vessels, airplanes that actually move those goods. And what's more challenging is that on top of that, this market is very fragmented. Just in US alone, there's 500,000 trucking companies. Imagine taking data from all of them. It's essentially impossible. Take that to a global scale, this is a real problem. And the way we solve that is by going straight from goods to the cloud. Imagine what Amazon Fire TV, Google Chromecast, and Netflix do to cable companies. That's what we're doing to the logistics visibility market. We're skipping trucking data, we're skipping telematics data, we're skipping vessel data, we're skipping all the data that's unreliable and inaccurate. And we're going straight from goods to cloud. This is crucial because shippers and logistics providers now get data ownership, they know exactly where their shipments are, and they get to dive deeper into insights on what's actually happening with those shipments. How hot, how cold, how wet, did somebody drop the package, did somebody open the package? All of that in real time. And we have a portfolio of products to meet all supply chain needs. This is how small it is. This is a tracker that goes into shipments. For all of our customers can go into our cloud-based platform to see exactly what's happening with shipments, perform analysis across their lanes, across their carriers to see if they're meeting the KPIs and also the agreements that they've set with them. And the way we make money is quite straightforward. We work with customer, figure out what products they want to track, how many lanes those products go through, and how many shipments they're doing per lane. Think of Johnson & Johnson, who works with us. They ship active ingredients from China going to Belgium. That's one product, one lane. We figure out how many shipments. For instance, a customer with 100 trackers will be a $50,000 ARR account, $500 per tracker per year. This conservatively is a $3 billion market for Tive. And that's if you just look at 10% of the shipments that need to be tracked on full truckload and full container load just in US and Europe alone. And that's 1 tracker per shipment. Imagine if you go into actually pallet level. That's a much bigger market. So conservatively speaking, it's a $3 billion market for us. And because of the market size, obviously there's competitors. And the reason we always beat the competition is because we have something that provides global coverage, independent of mode of transportation, and other data sources. And we've created a tracker that lasts 5 times more than any other tracker in the market that's cellular connected, with high reliability that's caused us to build instant credibility with customers. And on top of that, we have a user-friendly, very collaborative software platform that's integrated into transportation management systems, warehouse management systems, making it seamless for our customers to track their products. We couldn't have been here without an amazing team, advisors, and investors. Myself, I've worked for multiple startups in wireless communication space, designed low-power chipsets for smartphones, cell towers, satellites. Martin's worked on product development, Dennis and Tyson, business development and sales, and we have amazing advisors and investors who understand IoT, understand logistics and supply chains. Thank you very much. And we're just closing on a round of funding right now. There's little room left. If somebody's interested to participate, let me know. Thank you.
Awesome. So for our last pitch of the night, we have Janesh Patel, CEO and founder of Uptime Health. Here you are.
How's it going? I'm Janesh Patel, CEO of Uptime Health, and we take care of medical equipment for healthcare facilities. Now, why do we care about medical equipment? mainly because since the beginning of modern medicine, devices have been used to provide patient care. And over time, you've seen more devices used, more reliance on medical equipment, and the complexity of those devices just increase every year. That's why today you'll see surgeries performed without doctors looking directly at a patient. That's how much they care and rely on the medical devices. It's because the equation's pretty simple. Better equipment means better care for patients. But what that also means is the quality of care is now directly correlated with the quality of the device. I know this because I used to work in one of the biggest systems in Austin, Texas. I was a clinical engineering department, and I managed a team of technicians that managed every single device, maintained everything to regulatory compliance, and anytime they had questions on medical devices or issues with it, they came to me because I was the expert. Now this works for a big system that has lots of departments. But healthcare is changing. It's moving to an outpatient model. That's why you see urgent cares and surgery centers pop up in your local communities. They have complex medical devices taking care of their patients with one big change. There's no departments. There's no biomed on staff that can help them in their time of need to give them best practices for how they manage their equipment. Instead, they use sheets of paper to manage over $1 million in assets. They also go to an overworked administrator in their time of needs and ask her to engage in her vendor management solution. This is how they do it. As you can see, this is a problem. And it's not a small problem. Over $23 billion a year is spent in outpatient facilities on equipment and its maintenance throughout its life cycle, every year. So you can see this is an archaic industry that needs change. At Uptime Health, what we do is we take this kind of data and we turn it into this. We make the data smart, we make it actionable, and for the first time in our clients' lives, the data is valuable. And because everything's on our system, we can track it. We can then connect them to a field or the industry's first network of technicians to help maintain and repair their equipment at 3 clicks of a button, solving a lot of operational issues for our clients. And because everything's happening through our platform, we're collecting metrics they've never seen before. We can let them know the uptime of their devices. How much is it costing every time they get it repaired? How old is the device? And as they continue to use our platform, we mine this data to give them predictive analytics that say, here's how often this thing is probably gonna break down next year, you should probably replace it. And if you keep it in your system, here's how much you expect to spend on it. At Uptime Health, we make money in 2 ways. We charge a SaaS fee for the asset management tool itself, and we take a 10% fee for every work order completed on our platform, which means for every medical device we manage, we make money. Over the last 6 months, we've tripled the number of clients using our platform. And we currently have proposals out with 4 of the biggest players in the outpatient space, representing over 1,000 more facilities we can bring on, which means over 100,000 more devices we can start managing. So what we had to do is go out and build our technician marketplace. It's the industry's first. Well, we did just that. In under 3 months, we gathered 1,300 partners for biomed technicians, making us America's largest network of independent contractors in this field. We're built by a team of experts. You have myself, I've lived in the basements. I know how to manage medical equipment. I know the regulatory procedures inside and out. You have Bill Olson building the technology. Bill was a CTO of Accruent, which is America's largest asset management company and has been building products like this for the last 20 years. And you have Bill Dunn selling our product. He's been selling into healthcare for over 25 years and worked for some of the biggest insurance providers as well as caretakers. Overall, you can see this industry is ripe for change. There's a change that needs to happen. We have the best solution. We have America's largest network of technicians, and we have the right team to get it done. We're Uptime Health and we know equipment.
Awesome, thank you so much. So that concludes the pitching portion. We're now gonna have our lovely judges head off to a room to do some quick deliberation. Maybe we'll have someone use this next, you never know. Perfect, and then while we do that, I have the pleasure of announcing, we're gonna just, oh, are we waiting now? Awesome, thank you so much. So while the judges are deliberating, we're gonna, I have the pleasure of announcing our CEO of GSVlabs here, Nikhil Sinha. Safely in your hands. Click it to the right. Yeah, do you want it?
No, will you do that?
Move it forward. Absolutely.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to the East Coast and Canadian finals of the Entrepreneurship World Cup. Let me say this right now. I judged the West Coast finals, And I'm really, really glad I'm not a judge for today's finals, because this is a bunch of really competitive companies who have given us tremendous food for thought in terms of the future of technology and the future of entrepreneurship. And I think given what we've seen in the West Coast on Tuesday and what we've seen here today, I'm really optimistic that we've got cutting edge innovation taking place across the entrepreneurship spectrum. I get the opportunity, since you're a captive audience and you can't go anywhere until the results are announced, I get the opportunity to tell you a little bit about GSVlabs and the work that we do. But before I do that, I want to tell you and introduce you to the MISC Global Forum, which is the organizer of the Entrepreneurship World Cup. The MISC Global Forum is the international platform of Saudi Arabia's MISC Foundation that's been established to identify, develop, and empower Saudi youth and enable them to participate in the knowledge economy. The MISC Global Forum is the international arm of the MISC Foundation and takes that mission and applies it across the world to help young people around the world find the opportunities to grow and participate in the economy of the future. Through partnerships and international programs, they host events around the world that allows young people to become entrepreneurs and innovators and participate in the developments of the future. And the EWC is a flagship activity of the MISC Global Forum, reaching over 100,000 entrepreneurs in over 100 countries around the world. So please join me in welcoming the MISC team who's here, and Abdul Rahman, who's the manager of entrepreneurship and innovation for the MISC Foundation. One of the reasons we at GSVlabs have partnered with the MISC Foundation is because the work that they do and the work we do is very much aligned. At GSVlabs, we empower entrepreneurs and democratize innovation around the world, which is very consistent with the mission of the MISC Foundation as well. Let me do that. So GSVlabs is an innovation services company. We've been around for about 6 years, and we support innovation across the corporate spectrum, all the way from 2 people and their dog in a garage trying to start a new company, to Fortune 500 companies like Fidelity and 3M and MassMutual, who are engaged in internal innovation work as well. We have about 250 startups in our network. We have 2 innovation centers, one here in Boston and the other in San Mateo in Silicon Valley. And since 2015, over 800 startups have gone through our ecosystem. They've raised over $600 million, and we continue to support their activity as they go through their entrepreneurship life cycle. We also work with large companies and help them do internal innovation work as well as connect with emerging entrepreneurs. We have a network of about 450 investors that have helped companies in our ecosystem raise money. And then we have about 50 preferred providers that provide our members over $700,000 in free or discounted services. So if you are a GSVlabs member, either a member in one of our innovation centers or a member online in our new online platform Passport, you get access to all of our service providers and the discounts that we provide. We provide a full suite of services. We do acceleration, incubation, mentorship, learning, and co-working opportunities for entrepreneurs, providing them with dynamic co-working communities, access to events such as the WC Finals, but many more such events, and the tech and business infrastructure they need to launch their entrepreneurial activity. We believe we're at the right place at the right time. Let me do my little pitch here as well. We are being fueled, the work that we do is being fueled by some significant global trends. First, the continued rise of venture capital and the investments in entrepreneurship around the world much of which is taking place now outside the US. And I think for the 2018 was the first time that we had more venture investments taking place outside the US than inside the US. The second is the rise of digital communities. I used to work at Coursera when I was Chief Business and Chief Content Officer, 40 million people on Coursera now, but including not just the learning communities, but also the networking communities. So more and more of learning and networking and community building is taking place online. The third is the rise of entrepreneurship, both in the US as well as outside of the US. We now know that over 40% of people coming out of high school are motivated to pursue entrepreneurial activity in the next months or so. Given all of the activity that's going around, however, this is still a challenge. Entrepreneurs still struggle to find the resources that they need to launch their communities, the tools that they need to launch their communities, the mentorship that they need, the access to investors. If you're in Boston, you have all of that at your doorstep. If you're in Silicon Valley, you have all of that at your doorstep. But if you're outside the principal innovation centers of the world, if you're in the heartland of America, or in Latin America, or in Asia, or parts of Africa where you don't have access to all of these resources that you can get within a GSVlabs Innovation Center, then you struggle with your entrepreneurial effort. To solve this problem and to extend the reach and impact of what we do, we launched earlier this year GSV Passport, which is an online version of the physical innovation centers that you find in Boston and Silicon Valley. Everything that we do for our entrepreneurial community in these centers is now available online, and including mentorship, the access to investors, the access to our preferred providers, access to our learning resources, and the opportunity to find and connect with a community of like-minded people. This innovation as a service platform provides a set of on-demand actionable tools that entrepreneurs can use no matter where they are in the world. If you look at the feature set within Passport, we provide the opportunity for entrepreneurs to publish and promote their companies, connect with each other through our Slack communities, connect with mentors and VCs through our Zoom integration, to be able to access entrepreneurial learning content and access our preferred provider marketplace that provides over $700,000 of discounts to our entrepreneurs as well. We've been live for about 6 months now, over 100,000 visitors. So if you think for a moment about my previous data point where we had 800 entrepreneurs come through our network over the last 5 years, well, just in 6 months, we have had over 100,000 visitors on our platform, over 5,000 new member accounts created. So again, the impact of what we do being extended way beyond our physical structure, of our physical innovation centers, and 4% of those 5,000 are now paid members on our platform, and the paid membership gives you access to our investors, mentors, and our service providers. It's a global community. The US and India represent a significant number of entrepreneurs in our community, but we also have entrepreneurs from Turkey, Brazil, Canada, the UK, Mexico, and Australia, amongst other countries as well. One of the interesting things that's happened in the last 6 months is that organizations who manage entrepreneurial ecosystems are coming to us and say, we would like to use your platform to manage our entrepreneurial community. These people are universities, they're economic development organizations, they're cities, they're organizations like the Miss Global Forum, that anybody that requires and manages a network of entrepreneurs or an entrepreneurial ecosystem has use for a platform that builds and supports that community. Our vision for the end of this year, so this is a one-year vision for Passport, is to go from 100,000 visitors to over 200,000 visitors by the end of the year, double the number of active members, increase our premium members to over 1,000, and increase our Passport for Organizations deployment from 4 to 25 organizations around the world. This is the first of 3 interrelated online platforms that we're launching over the course of this year. Passport, essentially a community and networking tool for entrepreneurial communities. GSV Immerse is our online platform for large corporate innovation project management activity. And then at the end of this year, we'll have a virtual accelerator program so that startups from around the world don't need to come to Silicon Valley or Boston to attend 12-week accelerators. They can do so in the communities in which they're located. So we're trying to build an online community of millions of driven entrepreneurs emerging from innovation capitals all over the world, not just here in the US, accessing the know-how, tools, and resources they need to grow their businesses, connected to the top investors and mentors and thought leaders and service providers, sharing best practices, all focused on building game-changing companies and accelerating breakthrough innovation. For those of you who don't know, GSV stands for Global Silicon Valley. We are the platform that connects Silicon Valley to the world and the world to Silicon Valley, and our vision is to create and promote and support entrepreneurship and innovation around the world. Thank you for coming this evening.
Thank you so much, Nikhil. So the judges are just finishing up. We're going to wait a couple minutes, and as soon as they come back, we will have the announcement of the winner. So sit tight, and we should be here shortly.
Thank you, judges, for having gone through a very, very difficult task, I'm sure. I was saying while you were away, I was saying I don't envy you judging this competition, given the high level of presentations from terrific companies here. I'd like to, I'm going to announce the winners, but I'd also like to, winners, please come up and have your photographs taken. You'll get your prizes later. Come and have your photographs taken, and then we will start with the Canadian winners and then the East Coast finalists as well. Joining me to congratulate the winners, Abdul Rahman Al Sohemi of the MISC Foundation, who is with us here today. Come on up. So first, to the Canadian competition, the runner-up for the Canadian competition is Retail Deep.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Come ahead. And the winner of the Canadian finals for the Entrepreneurship World Cup, Nerve Technologies. Congratulations. So we had announced at the beginning of the competition that the winners of the East Coast finals and the winners of the Canadian finals will travel to Riyadh and be sponsored to compete at the global finals of the Entrepreneurship World Cup. but I'm really pleased to inform you that given the level of the great presentations that we've seen here, and thanks to the generosity of the MISC Foundation, we've now decided that the top 2 companies from each region will be sponsored to travel to New York to present. So both Nerve and Retail Deep will be sponsored to travel to Riyadh for the November finals of the Entrepreneurship World Cup. Moving to the East Coast finals, the runner-up and in the East Coast Entrepreneurship World Cup finals is 19th Amendment. Congratulations. Thank you. And the winner of the East Coast finals for the Entrepreneurship World Cup is Thai.
Going to Riyadh. Yes. Thank you. Let me do this 1 second. There we go.
And before we wind up, the judges also wanted, wanted us to make an honorable mention. Apparently it was a very close competition, but an honorable mention to Uptime Health. Thank you. Sorry? Who's coming? Great job. Thank you again for coming and supporting all of our entrepreneurs and startups. Thank you to the judges for taking on this very, very difficult task. Thank you to the MISC Foundation and the Global Entrepreneurship Network, who are the global sponsors of this event as well. And please join us for a reception right next door. Thank you.